Welcome to our Wednesday Church Militant segment. We always have somebody on from Church Militant who talks about the culture, talks about the issues that are happening in the church as they relate to Catholics. And this week we have on James Fidawa. James, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Jesse.
Hey, did I pronounce your name right? Fidawa?
You did it, yeah. That was correct. Usually people get it wrong the first time, but hey, you did it right the first time.
I've been watching you every evening, so I said I got to pronounce his name right. I don't want to butcher his name. A lot happening in the church and in the world, a lot to celebrate about. But again, we still have to keep on putting our hand to the plow, not look back, and not say, "Hey, we won the Dobbs case, so we can sit back on our laurels." We got to continue fighting. But tell us about some news items that have happened recently. I know something just happened with Pope Francis and the Vatican. Can you share with us what happened?
Yes. Nancy Pelosi went to the papal mass and received communion right under his nose, and he didn't really say anything about it. So we are going to have that in there. We're kind of wondering why that is. She is, of course, a rabid pro-abort. And the abortion debate, especially now since the Roe decision came down, is ignited to just a whole new level. So it's definitely interesting that she was able to just walk into a papal mass and receive communion for her, even because of her stances. And what's interesting is that the Pope hasn't even really said anything about the Roe decision or abortion, really. If you kind of scroll his Twitter feed ever since June 24th, when the decision came down, there's no mention at all of the Dobbs decision or Roe. You'll find some Ukraine stuff in there. You'll find the immigrants stuff in there, but nothing on Roe, oddly.
You know, James, this is what Jesus Christ would call in the Gospels. This is a scandal. This is scandalous. And
Absolutely.
I'm speechless when somebody sent me the picture this morning on my iPhone, and then I saw that we're going to talk about this. He obviously has to know what just happened in the U.S.
That's exactly right. I can't imagine he doesn't know what just happened, but the fact that he hasn't said anything about it, he did say something sort of like celebrating families, I think a couple of days ago. But there was no mention of the decision at all. So yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right. He definitely has to know what happened. I mean, this is the worldwide news. We did something on the elected official in Spain talking about the decision. So I mean, that's right, in his backyard, basically.
Yeah,
so he definitely has to know.
The Dobbs case has made international news, and he knows because he's got his handlers, he's got his press people. He knows that Nancy Pelosi, who describes herself as a devout Catholic, he knows that she has a 40-year or 50-year voting record of being a pro-abortion politician. He knows this. She's splashed all over the covers of magazines and newspapers and the internet. This is not something that's, that none of us know about her. She's very open about this. And to me, it pains me personally as a Catholic, knowing that today is the feast day of St. Peter and Paul. Can you imagine what this would have done for the Catholic world if he would have said, you know what, Nancy, you're coming to Mass? Good. I'm glad you're here. You need to sit down there. Have one of his handlers tell her she needs to sit down and not receive Holy Communion. In light of what I know about you now, and in light of this recent Dobbs case and your public statements against it, that would have been the prudent thing for him to do. He didn't do it. Why not? Well, only God knows. But again, I think a lot of us as Catholics are scandalized.
Of course, yeah. And imagine what Peter and Paul would have said to her if they were in his place. I don't think she would have been able to step up there.
I agree. Hey, tell us a little bit about fake Catholic Biden's White House.
Yes, of course. The angle here is that Biden is a fake Catholic. And since Roe came down, he and his White House are doing whatever they can to help people out in this difficult time. And they're pointing people to abortionfinder.org to sort of help them with all their needs and everything, their reproductive health care needs. Um, they're putting out literature, all kinds of stuff on their website. But I thought it was very ironic when Americans are really struggling with gas prices. I mean, there still are. I mean, $5 a gallon around here. I don't know where it is for you guys, but it's sitting around, yeah, over $5 a gallon for us. The White House, really, their only solution they put forth was, oh, just get an electric car. So here they are bending over backwards to make sure people can get an abortion. But I mean, as far as a concrete thing, gas prices hitting all Americans, really, they don't really have anything.
James, I want to compliment you guys in the evening, your crew. You know, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 4. I told Michael, you guys are like the Fantastic Four of the Catholic Church, because you guys not only put out good information, but you guys are also funny. You know, you guys just have you have a sense of humor in the midst of again, good news and bad news. So I just want to compliment you guys are doing a real bang up job. And I'll tell you another thing. My wife even said this. Okay, I'm Michael's age. I'm an old dude. Okay, I'm 60 years old. Me and Mike are, you know, we probably wear T-shirts that say "Old guys rule." My wife says, and other people, my kids say that are your age, you know, is that they say, "Hey, Dad, they're easy on the eye." So I'm just telling you, that's just from an optics point of view. I'm glad there's 4 young people that are putting out Catholic news, and the news is so informational. I tell every Catholic that I meet, I said, if you're not cutting, I said, I don't know what you're watching in the evening. Knock it off. Turn off those channels. It's simple. I get my laptop. I just put a cord connected to my smart TV, and I can watch it in my living room. Quit watching the fake news out there. Yeah. Watch Church Militant. Hey, talk to us a little bit about. One thing I like about you guys are always saying, and you guys say just without just missing a beat. You guys say, unelected fake Catholic Joe Biden. Every single time I'm saying, these guys don't miss a beat. It's hilarious. You guys, unelected fake Catholic Joe Biden. Then you guys go on and report. I think that's hilarious. I love it.
Yes.
Hey.
We have a lot of people that we preface with fake Catholic or obviously Biden unelected, but yeah, we have a lot of people like that, and if you miss it in your script, you immediately get hounded on by the editors. So yeah, you better not miss that when you're writing for Church Militant.
Hey, tell us a little bit about the Vatican. They're taking flack for something. What are they taking flack for?
Yes, their new logo for the 2025 Jubilee year. I won't. We're not going to show it now. You can wait till the show, but I can tell you that it's ambiguous. It does have some color to it, if you can pick up what I'm putting down there. And it's just it's weird. It doesn't inspire anything really Catholic in it. But this is the new logo that they're moving forward with for the 2025 Jubilee year. So, this is just typical. Vatican kind of like, what? You kind of look at that at first, and I was kind of like drawn back from it. It wasn't like, oh wow, that's such a cool logo. It was more like, ugh, kind of reaction.
James, the way I see it, the genie's out of the bottle. What we're going to be fighting as Catholics until the second coming of Christ is the whole LGBT movement. The homosexual movement. And when you think about it, a sin that caused God to strike 2 cities down with fire in the Old Testament, this is the same sin that the devil's now using right now, before the second coming of Christ, before the triumph of the age of Mary. This is the sin that he's trying to infiltrate and infect like a disease the one true church here on planet Earth that's commissioned to be the pillar and foundation of truth. He's trying to slime us with the most evil, egregious sin that caused God's wrath to rain fire from heaven. It's no coincidence that this is the sin that we're battling right now, and it's reached some of the highest places in the Catholic Church.
And a Jubilee year, Jesse, is, I'm sure you know, is supposed to be about like forgiveness of sins and liberation from sin. But this logo, as I said, is very colorful. It's celebrating the very sin that you're talking about, that very sin that that destroyed 2 cities in the Old Testament. So Yeah, it's infuriating to see the Vatican pushing this like they are.
Yeah, and hey, keep up the good work, you guys and the Fantastic Four out there. You guys at Church Militant, we love you guys. Everywhere I go, I push the show. I tell Catholics, if you're a serious Catholic and if you want to know what's going on in the world and in the church, you have to cut your teeth on this 1 hour a day. That's not much. Okay, you could, it's not much. Hour. You could, it's just 1 hour. Yeah, so some of the guys on television say, listen to me 3 hours or on radio, just 3 hours. Hey, just 1 hour, and you'll be a high information Catholic. If you're not listening to Church Militant, you're going to remain in the camp of low information Catholics, and you don't want to be wearing that hat. Final comments, James?
Well, I wanted to really quick, if I could, squeeze in a little plug for our Call to Action convention. We're going to have a ton of panelists there. It's going to be a really cool convention of all these panelists going up there, and there's going to be a moderator, there's just all going to be up on stage talking about certain issues of the day, but mainly it's a call to action to the laity. We can no longer just sit by and watch these Marxist Dems and these horrible bishops just sort of run wild. So we got to start doing something. So that's what this thing is going to do. It's going to be August 19th to the 21st. So be sure to sign up and go to our website and get all the information you need for that. Amen.
You know what, James? What you guys are doing is the words of Fulton Sheen. He prophesied back in the 70s. He says, who's going to save our church? He says, not our bishops, not our priests, not our religious. He says, you, the laity, are going to save the church. Teach your bishops how to be bishops and teach your priests how to be priests. He said this in the early 70s, and guess what? The words of Fulton Sheen, we're seeing them lived out in our lifetime right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, James. Keep up the good work. Say hi to everybody at Church Militant. God bless you guys.
I will do. Thank you, Jesse.
All right. We'll see you tonight. Hey, you've been listening to the Terry and Jesse Show. Remember, the most important thing as a Catholic, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Don't hit the snooze button. Jesus is coming back one day. Live in a state of grace. Make sure that before you die, you leave it all out in the field. Some of you say, man, but I'm only one person. Yeah, I know you're only one person, but guess what? With you and God, that's an army. Remember, we serve the Blessed Virgin Mary, a 12-star general. Pray the rosary every day. Read your Bible every day. By doing so, you're doing untold damage against the kingdom of darkness. Go to Mass as often as possible. Remember, Fridays is a day of penance, penance, penance. And if you haven't been to confession for a while, if you're in mortal sin, hey, you got to get a confession as soon as possible. God bless you.